to our GBM. Did you record that? Okay.
Now go.
Okay. We have an amazing guest speaker for you guys, Coach Isaac. But first, we're going to cover a few things. Follow our socials. We post all events, pictures from sitting volleyball, cute, silly pictures. You get like a little variety.
Thank you all who came out to the wheelchair dancer social that we had. It was a lot of fun. We hope to do that again. And I hope a lot more people can join next time. It was a whole lot of fun.
All right, so the plan for the semester. Today we have an amazing guest speaker. The next couple GBMs. Ooh, we have a movie. Right, first floor.
That was literally the room right now.
Okay, second floor, and then a couple of guest speakers. Nothing's official just yet. On social, next week we have 8 nights. It'll be fun, and then Kelly will go over what we're going to do today.
All right, sitting volleyball is tonight. Hopefully you all can make it. It'll be at 7 p.m. in Peterson Gym 241. So we hope to have a great turnout and play some fun volleyball.
Yes, so on Saturday at 1 p.m., we're going to be going to Peterson Gym to watch SCC Women's Girls Volleyball. They're competing against the Air Force. So we will be there, and if anyone wants to join us to show their support.
All right, and then I was going to say we're going to do paint night. This is what we're going to be painting together over Zoom. So I have the supplies listed. We'll post the slides afterwards just so you can have all this. But we're taking our canvas and paint brushes, all these different acrylic paint colors. And we'll actually be sending out a Google form after this meeting. If you guys need paint supplies and we can set up a time, we can provide those supplies to you.
Volunteering is later in October, but it's CAF Triathlon. I'll be also sending out more information in email because there's a sign up on CAF website, but there's also a Google form for us to fill out so we can coordinate and see if we have the same shifts and whatnot. But it's super fun. It's over 3 days. Wheelchair tennis, swim, and running and mobility. So we hope to see you there.
All right, dues. If you haven't paid dues yet, it's $15 to our Venmo here. If you want to be an active member, and it goes towards all of our equipment and supplies and providing amazing guest speakers, and food for GBMs and prizes and stuff that you can win.
Good. On our email list, if you want to sign up, you'll get updates, you'll get the recording, minutes, and other volunteer opportunities, any updates basically that we have.
And then lastly, our group me. This is like the QR code to join it. So again, it'll be in the email posted. This is the best way to communicate. We post all of our announcements and stuff in there. Right, and now we have the wonderful Coach Isaac. He's actually the sprints coach for the Adapted Athletics program, if you didn't know, and also a Paralympian, which is insane to have you guest speaking with us. And we actually have a video of him competing.
One second.
Yes.
I'm gonna change this to the other side because I think the quality would be better.
Also, check him out on Instagram.
Okay, wait before you play it. Okay, you guys get to see just my arm. Does that look better? Okay. You guys are gonna have to look and see because what does it look like? Kelly can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
The leaders clear on Columbia came in third, each time of 11:36. So at the moment, it's still third and fourth place in the opening heat, which are going to take the fastest loser times. That's Philip Hanna and Zach Skinner. No issues with times for these two, though. Jason Smith of Ireland. Numerous gold medals across Paralympics, Worlds, and Europeans.
Just the leg meets there.
Isaac Jean Paul.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All All right, yeah, he's tagging our Instagram post, so please give him a follow and show him some love on his Instagram. So without further ado, you wanna-
All good.
Yeah, you're good.
We're good. All right, just to start us off soft, how'd you get involved in adaptive athletics?
Oh, man, so I hope everybody can hear me. I'm gonna try my best to project my voice with this annoying mask on my face. Well, that's a great question. I started adaptive sports 2017. Prior to that, I competed in able body sports. I'm a 5-time All-American in a Division II track and field, NCAA. National champion in the high jump as well. So my first encounter with adaptive sports was 2017.
And what, 4 years later,
Are you a Paralympian?
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's been a wild walk. I can't even talk. It's been a wild ride, to say the least. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Does it feel like time flies, or you feel like,
Absolutely.
yeah?
Yeah, I mean, 4 years, that's like a whole college, collegiate, like career, you know what I'm saying? That's a decent amount of time. So to be able to accomplish what I accomplished in 4 years, I'm extremely blessed and happy, grateful.
So what adaptive sports do you actually compete in, or just like even do recreationally? Which one do you think is your favorite?
The only adaptive sports that I compete in is track and field. But after this past Paralympics, I was just like, man, I gotta get into some more sports because that shit looked fun. Like, bro, goal ball
Yeah.
was insane. Like, that was one of the sports that I watched the most was goal ball. Just like, man, it's incredible. And then swimming, I definitely want to swim. Just for the hell of it. I feel like I'll be pretty good at it. And well, wheelchair basketball. I know I can't be part of it, but wheelchair basketball is lit. Like our wheelchair basketball team, men and women, phenomenal. I hope that one day San Diego State University gets a wheelchair basketball team because that sport right there, that shit's cold. Excuse me, I can swear, can you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Extremely.
No, you're fine, you're
All right, cool.
You said you can't be in wheelchair basketball. Can you explain why?
From my understanding, you would have to have a impairment of the lower body.
Okay.
I have a visual impairment, so I don't think I would classify as a wheelchair basketball player. As far as my knowledge is concerned, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
If they allow me to play, hell yeah, give me a wheelchair, sign me up while I'm there. But I think you have to have a lower body
Okay.
impairment.
Cool. Okay, so what are some of your favorite accomplishments?
Oh, man. Man. That is a great question. There's been so many, not to sound cocky or anything.
Yeah.
But I would have to say my greatest accomplishment thus far has to have been acknowledging that I have a disability. I tell this story like so many times, but my entire life I grew up like fighting this like thing called like this whole identity thing. I don't even know what you call it, but I was just fighting my identity. Not really understanding my disability was something that I just struggled with. And with that being said, I use sports to run away from it. So every time I would be in school, it was hard for me because all my classmates would look at my like tools that I used to see and like, oh, can I touch it? Can I do this? So I hated school because everybody would look at me like, oh, like this weird, you know what I'm saying? It's just like odd. But when I went to play a sport, it was just like nobody saw my disability. So that's where I, found refuge. That's where I found my safety, you know what I'm saying? So being introduced to the Paralympics and, you know, meeting different Paralympians that weren't always disabled, you know what I'm saying? Like I grew up with my disability, but if you talk to a lot of other Paralympians, their disabilities came at like the middle of their life, you know what I'm saying? Like like this one kid, his disability came 3 years prior to being involved into the Paralympic Games. So it was just like, you had so many stories and so many people with so many different experiences. It really opened my eyes to be proud and to understand, all right, well, yeah, you have a disability, but look what you are able to accomplish with a disability, despite the fact, whatever people may say or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, really understanding that is by far, I feel like my biggest accomplishment to me is just because now I have a better understanding of myself. I know how to use my disability as far as an outlet for other people to be comfortable with themselves and shit like that. So, you know, just using my experience to help others is like my biggest accomplishment.
So, are there any questions?
No.
Okay, cool.
All right, you kind of touched on this, but do you have any challenges you think shaped you as a person or as an athlete?
Hell yeah, especially as an athlete. Man, track and field has taught me so much about life, you know. Oftentimes, like as athletes, we can become so consumed in our sport and we forget a lot about what life is trying to teach us in these moments, right? So track and field has taught me so much, you know what I'm saying? Like every hard practice, every meet that just didn't go my way, it taught me how to be patient, you know what I'm saying? Being patient within the process that I'm going through. Because a lot of times we become impatient with the growth process, you know what I'm saying? We want to grow so fast, we want to be as tall as we can. I remember early on in these conversations, I was saying like how I want to be 6 feet, and I was wearing 2-inch high shoes or whatnot. But it's just like, growth happens when it happens. And the biggest challenges that I've came across has been in track and field, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with different type of people, dealing with a different environment, dealing with, you know, trying to find myself, you know what I'm saying, in this environment that I had no clue what was going on in. And trying to find acceptance, you know what I'm saying, in a place where I don't need to be accepted in, you know what I'm saying? So track and field opened my eyes to all these things that, you know, I was, I guess, ignoring for a long time. You know, not only was I ignoring the fact that I had a disability, I was walking around thinking that life is just sweet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so comfortable with how my life was going prior to these moments where I just ignored a lot of things, where, you know, now as an adult, it's hitting me like with left, right, ups, downs, you know what I'm saying? It's hitting me all over the place. And, you know, getting an understanding of that is like the biggest thing that I'm happy that I'm understanding, you know what I'm saying? Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
I hope I did answer that. But yeah, those are the biggest challenges track and field has taught me thus far.
Yeah. What motivates you to do what you do? So I know like training is so extensive, like how do you like pull yourself out of bed, like have like hot cocoa, like go in the brain, like how do you do it?
Man, because that's a great question. Because like I said, I was telling you earlier, I forgot your name, what's your name again?
Wesley.
Wesley. Was I talking to you earlier?
No.
Oh, shoot, that's Wes. Wait. Wes Williams?
Yeah.
That's that nigga. Hey, Paul, I don't know, but we got time. Hey, this dude right here, man, that's crazy. One of the greatest OG status. I'm talking about like Paralympian gods, you feel me? Work alongside with one of the greatest Paralympians of all time that still compete in Lex Gillette. This is his guy runner. They just won silver in 2020. They won, damn, how many silvers and golds y'all got?
4 together, you guys 5.
Yeah, so this dude right here, man,
Yeah.
right here. Oh, shoot, that's a shocker right here. That's crazy. What was the question? I forgot the question. Yeah, what was the question?
Yeah, what motivates you to get out of that, like, to the extensive training that you do?
Man, for real, to be honest, ever since I was like a little kid, I always wanted to be something great. I always wanted to be like the best at something, whether it been basketball, football. I wanted to be Kobe Bryant. I wanted to be Michael Jordan. If it was football, I wanted to be Devin Hester, who was the fastest guy, who actually made me want to try out for track low key. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to be the best, still do. So I think that was my biggest goal. And then also like just wanting to make an impact, you know what I'm saying? And wanting to show people that you can do something. And no matter what other people may say, no matter what other people may think about you, it is possible. You just gotta believe in yourself. So, you know, and the biggest thing that I really want to do is impact the youth. Just like with today's society and today's world, it's really hard to be yourself. So like everything that I do, I want to show like you can have that confidence, you can have that courage to be yourself and all that good stuff. So that's my biggest motivation. And also I want to buy my mama a house. So until I buy her a house, I can't stop working. You feel me?
Yeah, no, it's extremely motivating to hear because I can't believe you did all this in 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, I know, but it inspires me too, just like in all aspects of life. Like if you really put your mind to it, you really can like accomplish great things.
Right, you talked about like motivating like inspiring the youth kind of, so we were wondering what changes would you like to see in the adaptive sports or Paralympic space, like over the next 5 years or just in the future?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. There's a lot of things that can be changed within our community. The one thing that I can see myself doing with being part of that change is just being a moving piece. You know what I'm saying? Being someone that the younger generation can touch and reach out to. And I'm thinking that I'm doing that now with being a coach at Adaptive Sports and just being part of this program. So I think the biggest thing is just being there for that younger generation, like not just, you know, donating money and being like, oh, I gave back, but really being someone that these younger kids can come to and really get some real ass advice from. And, you know, because there's a lot of like bogus people out there in the world that try to play you, you know what I'm saying, in this community. But in every community, you know, we all face those people, but you know, just being that one person that you can always say, okay, he's gonna look out for me the way I need to be looked out for. And I think if we have those type of individuals, which I feel like everybody in this room and everybody in this organization are, we gonna be all right.
Awesome. All right, so it's more of like the turn to the Paralympics. So what's the qualification process like for the Paralympics? Like I really have like no idea. It's like, what did you do to qualify?
As far as being a Paralympian or being part of the Paralympics as an athlete?
I guess the second one.
Okay. Well, excuse me. Within the Paralympics for track and field and other sports, there's many different classifications. For my specific classification, I am a T13, which is the highest classification for the visually impaired. You have T13, T12, T11. The lower the number, the more the disability. Does that make sense? Yes. No,
Yeah.
All right, for sure. So with each classification, there's marks that you have to hit. For my particular events, I'm a 100 meter runner and a long jumper. In order for me to make the team, I had to hit an A standard. An A standard is a certain mark that our national governing body places upon an athlete to hit at trials to be on the team. So for example, for the 100 meters, my A standard was 10 seconds, 0.86. So I'll have to either run close to that standard or run faster. I ran 1092, which was, and you do the calculation, they do some whacked out calculation where it gives you a percentage. And my percentage was higher enough to make the team. And then from that point of making the team, it's whoever's the fastest at the games gets a medal. So that's pretty much how the process goes. I hope I explained that well enough for you guys to understand.
Yeah, you did. How long is the whole process? Like you said, you have to like reach certain things. Was it like a year process? Like how long?
Man, that's a great question. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm gonna give you I think this is the right answer. So the process of being on the team goes semi-annually. Every 6 months, quote unquote, you have to hit this standard. And if you hit that standard, you're on the national team.
Mm.
That doesn't necessarily mean that you're on the team to go to the World Championships or to the Tokyo Games, right?
Yeah.
That just means that you have the qualifications to go. Now, when you make it to the trials or to the national championships, that's when you have to perform in order to go to that World Championships or Paralympic Games.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, so what were some of your expectations going into the Paralympics? And once you were there, how was it different? You talked about food a lot.
My expectations for the games was like at first, because my expectations changed through time, right? So at first I was like, man, it's about to be like Christmas out here. I get all this gear, you know, I get to like room with my friends. I'm about to be at the Olympic Stadium. I'm about to see all these different athletes. Culture is about to be incredible. But of course, you know, it changed because that was my expectations 2 years prior, you feel me? And of course, COVID hits.
Yeah.
So my expectations is like, well, shit, I hope I'm going. You feel me? I hope I'm about to be there. So it was just kind of like, man, well, how is this gonna look? How many COVID tests I'm gonna have to put up my nose, spit out? Like, I just didn't know what was gonna go on. And then as it gets closer, I'm just like, all right, well, the tickets are set. I guess I'm going. I don't have COVID. I'm on my way to Tokyo. And then I get there and it's just like, wow, I'm here. I open up my kit. The first thing I saw was these like USA slides. And I was just like, yeah, these are my shits. These are my joints. I'm gonna put these on and these are my favorite parts of the kit. I saw the socks and I was just like, man, I love socks. I needed them. So like from that point, it was all good. And then I walked outside and I saw a bicycle and I was just like, I'm riding it. And then I took a little ride around the village and that was just amazing. And then, you know, once we got to the actual competition site, my heart dropped. I was just like, wow, like it was crazy. Like the symbol of the Olympic rings were there. The symbol of the Paralympic flag was like right on the middle of the track. So I'm like standing there and I'm just like mind blown because this is everything I thought it was gonna be. And then I screamed and I heard my voice just ring throughout the stadium. And I was like, oh shit, I am here. So it was amazing. Wow. It was great.
Wow. That'd be trippy.
Yeah.
Someday, yeah. Somehow, I mean, you see my jump, you know. Okay. What was your favorite and least favorite moment in the Paralympics?
Oh man. Oh shoot. Okay. So my favorite moment of the Paralympic Games was realizing how real God is. It came at a moment where I thought everything was lost. I came out here and I shat the bed, and it took place in my long jump competition. Prior to the competition, I'm feeling amazing. Physically, I'm feeling great. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to jump on these dudes' heads. Like they about to touch me. I'm about to break the world record and then some. And then for some reason, as soon as I stripped off my my warm-up, my warm-ups, it was like the Monstars just came out of nowhere and just sucked the power out of me, you know, from Space Jam. Just sucked every single thing, last thing out of me. And I got on that runway and I was just like, what the hell just happened? I took my first jump, it was trash. Took my second jump, it was actually a good jump. It was far as hell, but I fouled it. Took the third jump, trash. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I can't come out here. I'm sorry, I'm shivering because it's so cold in here, low key. I'm like, what's going on? And I'm trying to communicate with the coach. That's my coach at that time. And I'm just like, yo, what do I need to do? Should I move back? Should I move forward? Should I stay still? Like, do I need to switch shoes? Like, tell me something. I need to figure it out because I can't come all the way out to Tokyo and not give me a medal. So she was like, relax, you got 3 more jumps. So we just chilled. I was like, all right, man, eat some candy, you know, just chill out, drink some water. So that's what I did. So now we're in the finals. I got 3 more jumps. First jump off the wrong foot. I'm like, what the fuck? Second jump. All right, come on, man, shake it off. I'm about to put it down. Run down the runway. Jump off the wrong foot again. I'm like, oh shit. Right now I'm sitting in 4th place, right? I don't even know what the marks are. All I know is I'm the 4th place, the last one, the first one out of getting a medal. So I'm like, threw my goggles, boom, threw them in the stands. I don't know how far I threw them, but I threw them things. I'm talking to the coach, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. The people in the stadiums telling me, put your mask on, put your mask on. I'm like, get the fuck out my face. Like I'm breaking down, like I'm losing my mind at this point because like I'm jumping like this. The people telling me to put my mask on. I threw my goggles all the way in the stands. My coach is trying to calm me down. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. And then it was just like this moment in time where like everything just stopped. I don't know what happened, but my goggles from all the way up in the rafters came all the way back down and they ended up on my face again. And in that moment, I said, God, please show me that you're real. Like, show me how real you are right now. And then I went back, I talked to the coach, I said, tell me where my 10th step is in my left leg. That's a reference to how many steps you have to take to get to the board. So like I take 10 lefts, 20 steps in total. Excuse me, I'm shivering, good Lord have mercy. So boom, she said, you're not even close by the board, you're in front of it, move back 2 feet. When she told me to move back 2 feet, I looked at her, I was like, you must be out your mind, 2 feet. Like, I'm jumping off the wrong foot, you want me to move back 2 feet. Prior to this moment, I've been going through a lot of things regarding track and field. And it put me in a position where I just lost trust in people. You know what I'm saying? I lost trust in myself entirely. You know what I'm saying? And at that moment, somebody told me, trust. It's like, trust. Trust what she's telling you right now. This is your opportunity to regain just trust, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? Just trust someone. Get out of here, get out of your own way and trust someone. So I was like, fuck it. Well, I'm not trusting. It's the last jump, right? Well, what I got to lose. So I moved back 2 feet and I'm preparing to jump. And I'm like, show me that you real. Here we go. And I'm running down the runway. And everything felt like I was in my warm-ups. And I was running, and I was like, oh shit, I'm running, like, here it is. This is perfect. And then I jumped. I didn't know how far it was. I was just like, fuck, I hope I did something there. And then my coach was like, you're in 3rd place. I was like, fuck, how far? 2 centimeters. I'm like, fuck! Like, 2 centimeters? You gotta be kidding me. I'm like, it's over, man. Like, he about to do something stupid right now. Because the dude that can't beat me is literally jumping right after me. So I'm like, I can't look. So I turn around and I see him running, but I was like, oh, don't look, they don't look. And I looked and he fouled and I was just like, let's go. And I ran to the opposite end of the pit. I gave some random guy a hug. And I was just like, God dang it, we did it. And what I learned in that moment, I had to take away a lot of things because I was searching for this anger because I jumped like how I jumped. And if you know me as an athlete, if you ever like really like, God dang it, you don't even gotta know me as an athlete to know that that wasn't my best performance. And it would ask you, well, what the hell happened? And I was searching for this anger and I couldn't find it because I knew I could did better, but I couldn't get angry. I could only just laugh. Because in that moment, I realized that you did something bigger than just something physical. You know what I'm saying? You were able to overcome something mental. You know what I'm saying? You were able to regain the trust that you lost in a lot of people. You were able to regain the trust that you lost in yourself. You were able to overcome the mental strain that you were put into prior to that competition and come out with a medal. And although I didn't win gold, I won gold. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't come in the form of a ribbon medal, but it came in the form of what I have in my heart and my mind. You know what I'm saying? And what I can do moving forward. So that was the biggest thing that I am most grateful for from this journey from the Paralympic Games. I don't necessarily think I had a bad moment there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you guys kept up with my Instagram, I had a lot of posts that may suggested, you know, I was going through things, which I was. But looking back at it, I had to go through those things to be, you know, the person I am right here at this moment for you guys, because I learned so much through that time. And if I didn't go through it, I probably wouldn't be able to sit here and give you, you know, these stories and my experience the way that I can. So I don't think there was a bad moment. I only see it as all great moments.
That's such a good perspective to have.
Yeah, got to. It's not about what you go through, it's how you go through it. Like, there's gonna be a lot of bad shit that's gonna happen, and you can't allow it to make you bitter. You know what I'm saying? The world is already a bitter place. We gotta be better than the world. So, you know, that's the mindset that I decided to live by. And, you know, as long as I do that, you know, shit gonna be fine. Shit gonna be taken care of. But yeah.
I don't know about you guys, sorry, but you can write like a book. Like, you described it so vividly. I just pictured all of it. And
I do have a book out.
You do? What's it
I do have a
called?
book out. It's called The Guardians of Orisha. It's a superhero book. It's on Amazon. So check it out if y'all haven't already.
Oh,
Check it
okay.
out. Leave a review. It's my first book. I wrote it through during quarantine. I never thought that I'd be a writer. I only saw myself as an athlete. That's the crazy thing. Only saw myself as an athlete, doing something with athletics. And going through the quarantine, going through COVID, I realized that there's only so many push-ups I can do during the day. I have to find something else to do. And so I used my imagination and I started to create like my own like universe. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be the Black Marvel, low keys. You heard that here first. And I began to create stories about just people of my culture as superheroes and stuff like that. So my first book is pretty much these 3 Black African-American women who figure out their powers through their ancestry. And they have to save the world of this great evil. And it's a multi-series book. So this first book is out. Right now I'm in the mode of writing a movie script, kind of, sort of, and hopefully, and trying to write that second book. But my mind works in so many different ways. So I just gotta really wrap my mind around one thing at a time.
Okay. Are there any questions in the chat? Well, we just have like one more, maybe like fun question. Besides being an author too, what do you do on your days off or in your free time when you're not training?
And, that's a great question. Um, I do a lot of random stuff, actually. But I just listen to music. I've been like listening to old like poems from poets and civil rights activist groups and stuff like that. So I've been listening to that, just trying to draw inspiration for like future speakings, future writings that I may come up with and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been trying to boost my intellect a little bit as of late. And if anybody in the chat has questions, feel free. I am completely transparent. You can ask me anything. If you want to know what color my socks are, I'll show you.
Well, what color are your socks?
You know, they're great.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Why did we do that? I was actually gonna ask, since you're an athlete, but also you're also a coach, how do you relay your experience and honestly like what you gained from competing at that high level to your athlete that you guide?
So what I do, while I can do it, because I'm young enough to do it, I try to lead by example, and I train with my athletes. So, like, if you really watch me, I'm on the spot. I'm talking about my athletes. You will see why and how I became this and that. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all doing the same work. You know what I'm saying? I never give my athletes something that I wouldn't do or haven't done before. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the only way to do it. And you know, I pride myself on being very creative and stuff like that. So I like to, and very experimental. So I like to just do like different random stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just to get the juices flowing for my athletes and hoping that maybe I spark some creativity for them when they end up eventually training by themselves. Because that's one thing. Another thing, I also want my athletes to be extremely independent. I don't want them to have to rely on me to be there at every waking moment. So we just be going, we be just doing a lot of random shit. Like my athletes, I hope they be having fun. They seem like they do. It's a good time. So it's just, I just make sure that my athletes are, having a good time and just staying on their toes. You know what I'm saying? Really not expecting anything, just being in the moment.
I know some of the athletes have like really high goals too of possibly competing in the next Paralympics themselves. So what are things that you kind of say to them to put them on the right track and motivate them to get there?
I say anything is possible. I mean, as long as you show up every day, and if you have the right mindset and the right heart, you know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing. Like, I remember, quick story, true story. This happened twice in my life, and that's how real it is. I remember being so fixated on becoming a Division I athlete. So prior to me going to my university, I had to go to a junior college. My grades weren't good coming out of high school, so I had to catch up. My freshman year of junior college, outstanding. You know what I'm saying? I went anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I jumped 6'10" and 3/4 of my second year doing track and field. And I'm like, all right, if I jump 7, the following year, my sophomore year of college, I'm definitely going to D1. There's no doubt about it. So I worked, and I lost sight of what the fuck I was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so fixated on jumping 7 feet. I lost sight of how to run. I lost sight of like the mechanics of the high jump. I lost sight of a lot of things, but I was working so hard. Have you ever rode a bike in that one gear where you just pedal really fast, but you're going nowhere?
Yeah.
But you're working extremely hard, but the bike ain't going nowhere. That's what I was doing. Like I was pedaling and I wasn't going anywhere. the years before, I was just in the moment, you know what I'm saying? And I was allowing things to come with it. I was allowing the knowledge of the sport to come. I was allowing the work ethic to come. Like I wasn't forcing it. And so like I realized that, damn, I think I forgot the question. But I know I was tying it into what you had asked me. What was the question one more time?
No.
No.
Like how you find like the coaching and being an athlete as well.
Or like motivate, what was
Like
it?
how do they?
Oh yeah, how are you motivating your girls, your athletes? How are you
Oh.
motivating them? To
Oh,
get,
shoot.
because they have high expectations for them.
Oh yeah, their goals. Exactly.
There we go. There we go. Right
So
there.
like being in the moment, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can't think that, okay, just because I work so hard, I'm supposed to have this.
Yeah.
Just like in school, you can get as many degrees as you want, and when you graduate, you can still be on Skid Row. You know what I'm saying? Not getting paid worth nothing. You feel me? So it's allowing yourself to be in the moment, experience your own experience, understand your experience, and then move from it. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you move in the right direction. It's very, and that's what I try to give my athletes, because like it's not about making that team. It's about what you are able to grow into at the end of the season, because the workouts are going to be tough. You ain't gonna want to do this shit. We wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning, go to the beach. We run on the beach barefooted, no shoes on, no socks, in the water, you know what I'm saying? For 5 to 6 miles every Monday, you know what I'm saying? Then come back and do hills on Tuesday, 8 hills. And then come back on Thursday, run 60 minutes on grass barefoot, 4 o'clock in the morning, you know what I'm saying? So if you can withstand that, you know what I'm saying? Despite whatever performance you're gonna have, you're gonna come out a stronger person because you were willing to do that. Not everybody's willing to do that. So that's what I give my athletes, and hopefully they understand that. Hopefully I did a good job explaining what I just explained to you, to them. But at the end of the day, these teams are gonna be already picked. People are already gonna have their medalists, you know what I'm saying, picked out. But at the end of the day, you come and you show who you are, and you give your experience, you do what you do best, and that's be you. You know what I'm saying? So, and live in the moment, that's why I give my athletes.
And then I was gonna record a video on the Instagram asking this last question, if you don't mind. Okay. If you're ready.
Yes, ma'am. You want me to move closer?
Nah, you're good. So I wanted to ask, where do you see yourself in the next year, and then down the road 5 years and further, and just later on?
Shoot. Well, I see myself next year, hopefully still here, man. Like I said, man, I live so much in the moment. I know if I continue doing what I'm doing now, God's gonna continue to bless me. And from 5 years from now, I'll probably be on TV doing something crazy. You never know. But only God knows what's gonna happen for me. I don't know.
Of course, and a shout out to your future family too.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Shiloh. Shout out to Lyra too.
Of course, thanks for coming out.
Yes, man. Thank you for having me.
All right.
All
right, thanks for coming out. You guys can go ahead and head out unless anyone has any questions. But yeah, all right, bye. Hopefully some of you guys come out to sitting volleyball.